Hi everyone, Hayley from Large Family Fire here. I am going to just walk you through our total debt payoff and where we are at heading into 2026 with our debt repayments. So I just wanted to walk you through that and some updates. I've resigned from my day job. I will be focusing on building up my cleaning business again, and with that, I've also refinanced our debt structure. So we had two personal loans. The smaller personal loan has been rolled into the larger loan that I call land loan, just to reduce our weekly payments on that. Our weekly minimum payments are now around $300 and something. We will be paying $400 a week on that, which is still less than what we were paying on both loans. And that is just to give us a little bit more breathing room while I establish my cleaning business and maybe find some extra other little jobs. But my mental health has vastly improved since that change. So that is what we are focusing on moving into 2026. We will be laser focused. We're using CoPlenty's we are now using CoPlenty's Budget Tracker 2.0 for 2026 onwards. I am an affiliate for them. I'm really happy with it. I've got a walkthrough video of our 2026 budget if you want to check it out. And so this is the last look you will see of my old spreadsheet. And I've just been finalising out our numbers and updating, transferring our debt balances into our new spreadsheet. So I thought it would be the perfect time to do a final debt update for 2025. And I'm pretty happy with the progress. It's been a bit of a chaotic year for us. We moved interstate. We had a lot of expenses. Some of our budget categories got a bit out of control. I'll do another video on those totals at the end of the year. And I've got some goals for those as well. But I would just thought, here's the update. I'll get into it. So I'll show you the total that we started with. We started with $157,387.93 on the 16th of February 2025. That's when we started really focusing on things. And the first three actually are family loans. So my mum, we owed her $5,000. We've paid $500 off. So we owe her $4,500 going into 2026. My brother Brent has loaned us $7,050 towards the end of last year and into the new year. I've paid off $1,750 this year. So I still owe my brother Brent $5,300 going into 2026. These are all interest-free loans. Very grateful that my family have been in a position to help us out, and I would love to get these all cleared up this year. Now my brother Todd loaned us some money and also sold me his car. So this figure includes car repayments, interest-free. I did add on a little bit extra as interest, so to speak, to the repayments. I pay him back fortnightly, so it'll take quite a few years at the minimum fortnightly repayments. He's always said if we need to, I can take a pause on them, but I do not want to. I just figure out if I keep paying, it'll eventually get paid off. So I owed my brother a total of $28,990, my other brother Brent, and we have paid off $3,355. So going into 2026, I will owe him $25,635 that we will be working on paying off next year. Now these next two are our personal loans, and as I said at the start of the video, we have restructured these as of today. So we started our land loan, which is an unsecured personal loan, which we used to buy our block of land, 1 acre, pretty good value. So we bought that at the end of last year, and at the start of the year it was $46,036.12 owing. And then today I've refinanced and it increased our balance by $21,678.77. So our net repayments are minus $16,354.10, but that's because I nearly spilled my cup of tea. Loan balance has transferred over from our smaller personal loan. So the current balance on that one going into 2026, after the next two repayments come out, will be $62,390.22. So that is our only personal loan. It's got quite a high interest rate, a high monthly account keeping fee, which is why we're paying the extra off it. And then we will also make extra payments on that as well this year. So I will also try and refinance that maybe 6 months into the year. We'll see how things are going, or at least ask them for a reduction in the interest rate. And our other personal loan that we've had for quite a few years now, the balance started at $29,900.48, and as I said, we've paid that down a fair bit this year, but the balance of it has been rolled into the larger personal loan. So we now own nothing on that going into 2026. Just waiting on the payout figure, the payout letter, I should say, to confirm closure of that account. But they've only made the payments yesterday, the final payout yesterday. So it'll probably take a couple of days for them to get the payment and confirm that. The next one is my husband's help debt, which is another type of HECS debt or student loan if you're from another country. The government loans it to you. It doesn't have interest charges as such, but it is indexed. The balance has indexation applied once a year. Now the government has recently made some legislative amendments, and the balance will be reducing by 20%, hopefully in the next couple of days. And as it stands, we didn't pay anything off this year because my husband didn't meet the income thresholds to have payments taken out of his. He pays extra tax each pay cycle. The government holds it in a bucket, and then once you do your tax return, if you have had enough taxable income, then they start taking payments out of those, the tax you've paid throughout the year, basically. And if you haven't met the income threshold, they give you that extra tax that you've paid back. And you can make extra after-tax payments, but it hasn't been a priority for us. He will meet the income threshold in the 25-26 financial year, and we're waiting on the 20% HECS help debt reduction to be applied. So that'll reduce the balance by about over $7,000. But as it stands, it hasn't been applied to his account yet. Some people have started getting them, but the balance at this stage going into 2026 is $38,897.41. We don't make regular weekly payments on that. It may be something we look at, but we want to pay off our other personal loan and the family debt first. So that's as it stands. Hopefully it does reduce by that $7,000 before the end of the year, so I can update our new spreadsheet with those new figures and feel a little bit better about myself. Now, I did have a BAS debt, so that's my business activity statement. At the start of the year, I'd basically stopped doing cleans when we moved here, but I still had GST that I needed to pay for that quarter. That was $984, and I paid that off. I set up a payment plan and paid it off. Nothing owing on that. And our last one was Afterpay, when I decided I didn't want to have it anymore. I've only got Afterpay this year and had it for a couple of things, and then now I don't have Afterpay. I've paid it off, $529.92, and the account is closed, so you can't reopen it again. So that is done and dusted. So we'll go over to the final figures. Bit of a long-winded one. So we started at $157,387.93 in February. And after interest and fees on our personal loans and all our debt repayments, we have paid off $20,665.30 this year. So I'm really excited that we've cracked the $20,000 mark this year. this calendar year, despite an expensive year and moving interstate, and my husband and I starting new jobs. My husband started 2 different jobs, so I'm really happy with that. Our current balance as of the end of the year is $136,722.63. So I've already got those figures over in my CoPlenty budget tracker for next year. Unless the help debt reduction comes through, which it should hopefully this week, and then I can update that again by about $7,000, so it'll be under 130k, which is so exciting. And then the $20,665.30 after interest and fees. So that's like our payments, like after the interest and fees. We obviously paid a lot more than that, but after interest and fees were applied, we've paid off 11.6% of our debt this year, which is really good considering it's such a high figure. It's only going to improve next year. We still have 88.4% to go, but we will hopefully, touch wood, be starting 2026 at under $130,000 of debt, which is good. And we don't have mortgage, we just have our unsecured loan for our land. Yeah, so that's good. We've also seen about $15,000 increase in our land value, which is pretty hectic. So we bought it for $40,000 in November last year. And then a block that is exactly the same as ours, 1 acre block, nothing on it except for water, in the same street, just the other end, sold for $55,000. So that's pretty good growth there. All the houses in town are getting more and more expensive, so we will see what next year holds. I do have a house deposit fund. I don't know if we will build or if we will buy an existing house. I'm leaning towards buying an existing house in town, but I don't know if it'll be next year. So that is where we are at. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you found it motivating. If you like seeing people pay off exorbitant amounts of debt, please hit subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at LargeFamilyFire. I share more mum life stuff. I'll be sharing hopefully a weekly video on YouTube every week in 2026. That's one of my goals. And yeah, I can't wait to share how we're going to be tracking all our expenses and debt payoff in 2026 on the new CoPlenty budget tracker that we will be using. So this is the last look at my old spreadsheet, and I can't wait to show you the pretty graphs in the CoPlenty tracker. So yeah, hit subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thank you so much for watching if you've got to this point. Have a great day.